Hello, everyone. You'll forgive me, I'm not a politician, I'm a minister. But I do know something about the Constitution as I studied it in school and took college courses in the Federalist Papers. And so I do have a pretty good overview, I think, of what the Constitution says. And I was watching tonight President Joe Biden wanting to have a voters' right initiative passed. Well, if we are under a system of laws, and in this country it's the U.S. Constitution, then there's certain legal aspects that we have to follow. And I'm not a lawyer either. But for one thing, people that vote in this country are supposed to be citizens. It's not open to open borders and the world. But we're quickly approaching, I believe, a time of lawlessness where there's no real law except what Satan dictates and his new world order. This is what I fear is going on. If we allow to have mail-in voting, that is the most insecure form of voting that any country has ever tried in history. It just opens the Pandora's box to voter fraud. Anybody can vote. There's too much fraudulent activity that can fall through the cracks with mail-in voting, despite what you might hear the media say. It's just been proven over and over again that countries that have tried this in the past know this is no way to hold an honest election. So that's point number one, which they're trying to pass. Point number two is like federalizing the government, the Constitution, with votes, because basically what would happen is you would have California and New York dictate to the rest of the heartland of America what is passed and what isn't passed. That's what happens if you get rid of the Electoral College. And as I've said before, the Constitution was written not to take control over the people, but to control the government from getting too big and too powerful and people losing their individual voice and rights. This is what I fear is going to happen. And you talk about the mark of the beast, the 666, the satanic system when the church is gone. This is what I think is going to happen. I think that with these mandates, with changing the way we vote in this country under the Constitution, where a citizen is allowed to vote and non-citizens aren't. It's just like if you belong to a neighborhood association. If you don't live in that neighborhood, you don't get a vote. But with lawlessness, all these concepts of fair play are just simply tossed away for government control and power. And you hear people say that they don't like tyrants, or they don't like, what does the guy call it? Fascism. Well, fascism is just people being a dictator. And the whole Constitution was written to ensure against fascism. But these people that talk about fascists, which they're talking about conservatives and people that actually go by the Constitution, discriminate on people that are non-citizens, they call them fascists. That's how confused people are. People don't think. People aren't informed of what our system of government entails. And I think, along with the epidemic of COVID, with the gene therapies and all, they that they're producing, which makes a lot of money. That this is what's driving things: money and power. You can't even have therapeutics. I know people that want ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine at all. And there's plenty of doctors out there for therapeutic use for getting people well that would prescribe this, but it's illegal. Why? Because gene therapy makes a lot of money. And we're gonna hear maybe cases at the Supreme Court on abortion, but it's been around for so long. I don't believe the Supreme Court's really going to do anything except maybe put some time restrictions on abortion. We're never going to go back to the right to life. All human beings are created equal. And you hear women's bodies say, "My body, my choice." Well, I'm sorry, but that's another human being. This is how you procreate life. So really, what a woman's saying is, "I want to be God. I want to murder the child," and they'll call it. They won't call it a child, of course. In the womb, which is supposed to be the most protected place on earth, in a mother's womb, it's this wickedness and evil. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to speak up for it. But in lawlessness, none of these things apply, because law, right and wrong, that starts with God. And if you toss God out, you have nothing. You have lawlessness. Well, maybe you don't have nothing. You have a satanic society that's based on rebellion against God, is what you have. That's why Jesus said of many that their father was of the devil. You hear people say we're all children of God. Well, we're not children of God unless we're begotten from above by the blood of Jesus Christ. Otherwise, we're Satan's children before we become the Lord's children in salvation, because of the cross and what Jesus did, that all may come and be set free from sin and be reconnected to the Father. These are the things that you're not allowed to speak about. And, well, I started off on a political foot, so I end on a political foot. So, to take away the restrictions, the legal restrictions on voting, is going to allow anybody to vote. To have open borders is going to have no national control. And you talk about people being defranchised. That's going to be the heartland of America. It's only going to be like if you federalize the police department, it's only going to be what the government says it should be. You're only going to speak what the government allows you to speak. And people can't see it. They're blind. They're in the age of strong delusion. And the next thing that's going to happen is, if the mark does come along, when Satan comes along, then people are going to take that as a practical way to buy food or do their everyday routines. But don't you see, people, you're losing your liberty to a global elite corporate banking franchise. You will no longer have liberty. And this is what people don't seem to understand. And for me, it's really hard to understand them. And I guess it's because they really don't understand the basics of the Constitution or the principles thereof. I've said before, when the Puritans came over here, the Pilgrims, they said, "We will allow you this much power over our lives." In other words, limited government. As far as the restrictions on their freedoms. But in a new world order, in a satanic world, you won't have any freedoms because you'll be enslaved. All right, that's what I wanted to say. Thanks for watching. Bye.